Today I'm going to go over the basics of estimating an item in Materio and why those estimates are important. So let's dive in. When you're estimating an item in Materio, you're of course going to already have it in your scope of work here. What you're going to do is click the 0 right here while you're in the list, and it's going to open up this estimation panel. And here you'll see a few things. First is the unit price, and this is going to be what it's going to cost you to purchase or acquire this item. So for this, I'm going to estimate $500 for this pendant. Now, if you are buying this item retail, you would have a vendor tax. Oftentimes, this is going to be set already when you set up your scope of work. If for some reason I change this, you'll note that I get the opportunity to edit my defaults here. For now, I'm going to leave this off and we'll go into that in a minute. The third component here is your markup, and this is going to be the markup on your product. This can range really anywhere from 30% to 100%, and that's all up to the firm and how you charge your clients. And then the last is going to be the client tax or the sales tax, and this is going to be visible here in the estimate as well as at the bottom of the project. So it'll tell you, all right, with the $500 unit price, our 40% markup and our 9% tax, we have $700 plus $63 in tax. So notice over here on the right, you have some history. So it will show you what you put for this specific item on other projects. Underneath this basic sort of line, we also have a few other cost components. We have shipping. So when I click that chip, a shipping line is going to show up. And you'll notice that I have the same ability to do tax and markup and client tax on shipping as well. So let's estimate that this shipping is going to cost me $25, a markup on my shipping, and then I'm going to actually go ahead and edit my default rates so that I can charge a 20% markup on shipping across all of my items. So I'm going to click Edit Defaults. And then here you'll see I can say what I want the defaults for all of these components to be across my project. So I'm going to, while I'm here, update shipping to be a 20% markup. And then labor, I'm also going to do a 20% markup, and I'm going to update all existing items. Again, this is customizable for your firm and the way that you work. Just remember that when I update all existing items, this is not only going to update the estimate here, it will also update any product that you have in your selections, because that does carry over. So if you already have selections in the system, just be mindful of that. And also that this is going to update any kind of service items. So if I have design hours, which is not a selection, it's just an item in my project, it'll update. So you'll just have to go back and update a few of those. But if your project is mostly FF&E, this is going to be very helpful for getting those default rates across the board. So I'm going to update for everything. Of course, you could also do the new items only. So yes, I'm going to agree to that. All right, so now I have an updated markup on all of my shipping across any of the items. That is going to show up by default when I go there. All right, so back to our example here of estimating for an item. Let's say we've got $25, $400, and now I want to go into the other cost components. So we also have delivery. Delivery is going to be like a white glove delivery. So if you have a custom piece of furniture being hand delivered by someone, you would put that here. So maybe that's going to cost $150. And then labor is going to be third-party labor. So let's say I have an electrician who is going to be, doing this for me. I'm not necessarily working with a contractor, but I'm hiring just a handyman to come install this. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be $150 for this fixture. Now, just a reminder here that labor at the moment is going to be a lump sum. So if I was estimating 20 pendants, this might be a much higher number, like 3,000. It's not going to be by the unit, it's going to be lump. So those are the different cost components that you can estimate on an item. This just helps you get really specific about breaking down what an item is going to cost you as a firm, how you can ensure you're making money or a markup on that, and then if you're charging your client sales tax, and that really comes into play from the financial perspective of invoicing and more. That is how you estimate an item. Now I want to show you what happens when you create this initial estimate, how that impacts actual selection. So let's say that I go in and I actually want to add a product to this. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pull from my library, and I'm going to go ahead and let's say I select this pendant and I'm going to add it. When I do that, if I click this and open it up, you'll see that my default markups here, my 40%, 20%, and all of that is showing up, my sales tax. So when I estimate that in my scope of work, that is going to carry over to this item no matter what I have in my library. Now, the initial cost, like the shipping, delivery, and labor, that is going to carry over from the library itself. So if I have an estimated shipping cost for this light from Visual Comfort, then it will carry that over. But those markups and all of that are going to stay there. Of course, I can come in and I can edit this and I can change prices on things if I want to. But I just wanted to note that those estimations do carry over, and it's very important to understand so that you know when you put those there, there's a purpose. It really helps you make sure that when your team is adding product, especially if it's someone junior who's not engaged in the financials, that those are going to carry over and be there when it is ready for you to actually invoice and show this to your client. Last place I want to show you where estimating really has an impact is when you do get into the financial. On the finances, if you go to the overview tab, you'll see that you do have itemized breakdowns of what is estimated. So you're going to be able to see here what your estimated cost was, subtotal, tax, and all of that, as well as what you've spent and what your client has paid you. So it's really important to do planned or estimated budgeted work here so that you can see where the project is going and where your actuals are as you start to actually pay for a product and order things and actually invoice your clients. All right, that is an overview of how you can estimate items in Materio. Of course, we're excited for you to be in the system, knowing exactly what it's going to cost you and how you can make money on all of your projects. If you have any questions about how this works or you want to reach out to us, you can always live chat us or email us at hello@materio.co.